What is happening in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson? I'm hearing everything, and it's either, yeah, we'll figure it out, or yeah, it's no big deal. He was sick. That's why he wasn't there. Yeah, I mean, he was really hurt. I mean, that's why he didn't play. To, oh, my gosh, it's a 5-alarm fire there, and everybody's just putting a smile on their face because that's what they do with that organization. What are you hearing?
Well,
Mike?
I think that things got a little tense behind the scenes last week. The comments that we saw from Sammy Watkins to the Washington Post about playoff time and can Lamar Jackson play, I think there was a belief in the organization and within the locker room, not universally, but some of the players, that this PCL injury is something that a brace could have been applied. He could have gone out. He could have given it a try. When RG3 says, well, I played without an ACL and an LCL, and look at what it did to me, well, it's a fundamental difference. A PCL sprain apparently can't get worse, and it was healing, and they just thought he'd be able to come back. Now, here's my take on it, and it's very simple. If a guy isn't 100% and doesn't have the long-term financial security that he has earned, he has every right to say, I'm already taking enough risk when I'm 100%. I'm not taking an enhanced risk without my long-term financial security. It's fine to say that. The problem is he's part of the reason why he doesn't have his long-term financial security, because the Ravens have been ready to give it to him. And he's been caught up on this 5-year fully guaranteed Deshaun Watson contract, and he desperately needs an agent who can explain to him what you need to do to get a Deshaun Watson contract. The Ravens aren't just going to hand it to him. He's got to finagle away to the open market. He's got to say to the Ravens, I'm never playing for you again. He's got to hope they try to trade him. He's got to try to get multiple teams to the table and hope that one of them gets pushed aside, whips back around and says, how about a 5-year fully guaranteed contract like the Browns did? It's an outlier what happened with Deshaun Watson. But when you don't have an agent, people think that all the agent does is send a few emails to the team and collects 3% of every dollar that's paid. The agent has to tell the player, here's how it is. Here's what your expectations should be. And you know what an agent also does, Rich? Last week when all this stuff's going on, the agent calls people in the media. The agent calls people around the league. The agent calls the team. The agent works hard on behalf of the client to make sure that the client isn't vilified, that the client doesn't come off as the bad guy in all of this. And I think that's how the dust settled on this. That Lamar Jackson got painted as the bad guy. And it's going to be hard for the two sides to repair this. I think what the Ravens are going to do, prediction, non-exclusive franchise tag, which will give him the chance to go talk to other teams. If he signs an offer sheet with another team, the Ravens get 2 first-round picks if they don't match it, or the Ravens could trade him. But at some point, Rich, he's got to negotiate a contract with somebody. At some point, he's got to sit down and say, this is the deal I want to do. And if it's a non-starter, to not have anything but 5 years fully guaranteed, he's never going to sign a long-term deal with anyone.
So what you're saying here, right in the middle of January 2023, is the Deshaun Watson contract, when it was awarded to him, and that is a way to say it, from Cleveland, and he signed it, and we were all wondering what the ripple effects were. It did not eventually prevent the Cardinals from securing Kyler Murray's services, or the Broncos from securing Russell Wilson's services long-term and for just this year as well. But it has also created this issue in Baltimore that resonates to today. That is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying, because Kyler Murray's agent didn't insist on 5 years fully guaranteed. Russell Wilson's agent didn't insist on 5 years fully guaranteed.
Nor the players,
right.
Obviously.
Now, hey, Rich, and there very well may be collusion. You know, the NFL Players Association already has filed a grievance under the collective bargaining agreement accusing the owners of colluding in this refusal to give certain players fully guaranteed contracts. And there could be collusion happening. Good luck proving it. But with Lamar Jackson, the Ravens just refused to do it. And this is what a good agent would say to Lamar Jackson. Look, you got 2 choices here, generally speaking. You can take the best offer that I can negotiate on your behalf with the Ravens. Let me try to do that, and then we'll evaluate it. Or you can say to the Ravens, I'm never playing for you again, like Watson said to the Texans, and hope that we can set this competition up where we get one team to the table that freaks out when it gets thrown aside because it's already undermined permanently and irreparably its relationship with its current starter in the form of Baker Mayfield, so it has to do something. I mean, how often do the planets line up like that? And that's what Lamar Jackson needs to understand right now. He needs to understand that the planets lined up in a crazy-ass way for Deshaun Watson, and it's not going to happen for him, or it's highly, highly unlikely it's going to happen for him.
And so your prediction is Tyler Huntley week 1 or Lamar week 1?
I think Tyler Huntley, unless they decide to go after some other veteran quarterback and dramatically change their offense. I mean, there's going to be plenty of veterans out there, but if they want to just continue with the approach that they currently have, I mean, Tyler Huntley did pretty well for himself in the playoff game.
No doubt. If he'd only gone low instead of high, who the heck knows what would have happened?
Well, that's right. They scored that touchdown to win that game. I think the conversation this week is
totally different.
Lamar Jackson isn't coming back. Tyler Huntley's the guy.
You want to take a crack at where Lamar goes if this happens? Just to go completely hog wild on this, down a rabbit hole, or what?
I've always thought Miami to get back to where we started, so I guess there's some poetry in that. We started with Tom Brady in Miami. Maybe it's Lamar Jackson. The problem is they don't have the compensation that would be necessary
because
to get Lamar. But there is one thing they can do.
Because they invited Brady on a boat?
That's right. They don't have a first-round pick because they tampered with Tom Brady, and they gave up the other first-round pick they had as the last piece of the Trey Lance trade, the trade that became Trey Lance when they traded for Bradley Chubb. However, consider this. This has never happened, but this is what they could do. They could wait until after the draft and then sign Lamar Jackson to an offer sheet. And if Lamar Jackson accepts that offer, and if the Ravens pass, the Ravens get 2024, 2025 first-round picks from the Miami Dolphins. They do have those 2 first-round picks. They would have to wait until after the draft to sign Lamar Jackson. They could still do it if they wanted to.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.